This lot should definitely stick to their day job. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Great Celebrity Bake Off disasters. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at contestants who found their time in the Bake Off tent more challenging than they expected. But hey, it's all for charity, and that's what matters. Number 10, Roisin Conaty's Beach Cake, the Great Celebrity Bake Off for SU2C. Despite claiming that cakes are things that live in her mouth, Roisin presented this disastrous showstopper that was, in her words, absolute carnage.
Is it a hurricane?
In fact, it's such a mess that Noel even asks Paul if he's ever taken a handshake back. And it isn't just the appearance that was shredded by the judges, as Prue questions if they had even been baked at all, while Paul concludes that this is the worst gingerbread he has ever had.
Colours are good though.
Should icing make that noise when it hits the table?
Thank goodness for shop-bought desserts, eh, Roisin?
I like being first and last, though. I don't
Okay.
like middle ground, so that's pretty good for me.
Number 9, Alan Carr's Rainbow Cake, the Great Celebrity Bake Off for SU2C. When Prue and Paul challenge the celebrities to make a multi-tier rainbow cake, Alan decides to take the task quite literally. He envisioned a tier depicting himself asleep in a bed, dreaming about the television show Rainbow, but when the clock started ticking, his dream soon turned into a nightmare.
I'm just gonna have to stick it on. Oh, I'm happy with that.
After struggling with underbaked sponges and wrestling with fondant, Alan declares that he's never cried on telly before.
Never cried on telly before.
It's like a melted Barbara Cartland nightmare. You'll be alright, keep going.
Nevertheless, he presents an imaginative showstopper and really impresses the judges with his rainbow layers. Unfortunately though, when your sponge cake can snap, you are probably no longer in the running for Star Baker.
You really shouldn't be able to snap a sponge.
You're just being picky now.
Number 8, Mack's Underbaked Blondies, the Great Celebrity Bake Off for SU2C. Within minutes, Lee manages to break a pair of scissors, spray fruit juice in his eye, and slice his finger badly enough to need medical attention. Amazingly, he makes it to the end of the round, even thinking on his feet when Prue points out he hasn't quite met the brief.
Do you have a problem counting? First of all, we didn't get 12.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise I had to do everything. Right, there you go.
While the judges do praise his flavours, that's basically where the good news ends, with Prue claiming that she is trying to put a positive spin on a disaster.
It's a very fair, positive take on a disaster.
Let's not get carried away. Let's not get...
Prue, don't mince your words.
Perhaps his Blondies failed to impress, but we think he deserves a prize for finishing the show in one piece.
Should we put a positive spin on a disaster, then?
Number 7, Jamie Lang's Banana Loaf Cake, the Great Celebrity Bake Off for SU2C. If the heir to McVitie's and founder of Candy Kittens promises to produce a delicious cake, you'd believe him, right?
You know when you're blitzing all those things together, it's not necessarily how you do a sponge.
Is it not?
No.
Jamie Lang announced that he had never even touched flour before, and then proceeded to mix his banana loaf ingredients in a food processor all at once, allegedly following his mother's example. Despite its unappetizing texture, the judges bravely taste it, but regret it soon after.
That's delicious.
That is disgusting.
Prue spits hers out, even Jamie is disgusted, and Paul dubs it the worst cake ever baked in a tent. Well, at least there was only really one way you could go from there.
I've created a new substance that no one has ever found before.
Number 6, Nick Hewer's Croquembouche Disaster, the Great Celebrity Bake Off for SU2C. The countdown host arrived at the tent suited, booted, and ready to bake, but soon discovered that he may have bitten off more than he could chew.
I'm just wondering whether I should have had that heart checkup before or after coming here.
After overbaking his scones, during the signature challenge, he brought a new meaning to the word showstopper with his disastrous countdown tribute Croquembouche.
Looks as though a dog with tummy trouble has just passed through here.
After 5 attempts, 23 eggs, and some assistance from Paul, Nick certainly produces a memorable dessert, but for all the wrong reasons.
Shall I take that away?
Please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
I love it, Nick.
Number 5, Joanna Lumley's Accidental Coffee Cake, the great comic relief bake-off. If you ever wanted to see an Ab Fab and bake-off crossover, you've come to the right place. This episode was hardly smooth sailing for anyone, but in terms of baking disasters, Joanna Lumley really takes the cake.
Showstopper was the wrong word for my cake. The cake is disgusting.
While all her attempts are so hilariously atrocious they border on impressive, we must single out her coffee cake. Well, it wasn't meant to be coffee, but she mixed up cocoa powder with instant coffee.
It's burning my tongue.
What have I done?
She also manages to bake a cake that is simultaneously burnt and undercooked. Unsurprisingly, she didn't win, but her summation of the experience pretty much says it all.
It's just disappointing that the top layer wasn't as good.
Number 4, Jonathan Ross's Grilled Marble Cake, the great comic relief bake-off. While you might think Jonathan's profiteroles are enough to land him a spot on our list, it's his showstopper marble cake that really cements his rightful place.
I know you're in there, come on out. Oh, shh. Don't tell Paul, don't tell Paul.
These celebrities are asked to make a cake that resembles their favourite building, with Ross choosing the Royal Albert Hall.
I think they might notice that the windows aren't all there.
As he puts his cake in the oven, he accidentally sets it to grill, and well, you don't have to be a baking expert to know why that is problematic. He was branded the worst celebrity contestant to set foot in the tent, a title he held onto for a number of years.
It's more like a marshmallow than it is a meringue. Italian meringue should be smooth and silky.
Number 3, Alex Jones Breaks the Mixer, the Great Celebrity Bake-Off for SU2C. The one-show presenters seemed to struggle with the machinery in the tent, and ultimately the machines won. During the showstopper round, Alex tried to mix her ingredients, but failed to secure the glass bowl before turning the mixer on. This caused the bowl to shatter, with glass going everywhere.
Here we go. Oh my god.
Still in contest mode, Alex didn't initially notice the deep wound in her hand, which required her to receive stitches.
Oh, you couldn't make this up, could you?
She even joked that she told the paramedics to skip the anaesthetic, as she had a showstopper to get on with. Now that is what we call one tough cookie.
I'm gonna start again. Double speed biscuit making.
Number 2, Joe Sugg Faints, the Great Celebrity Bake-Off for SU2C. Alex wasn't the first contestant needing medical attention in this episode, with the first casualty taking place just minutes into the signature challenge. As soon as Joe gets started, he manages to grate his finger, become woozy, and pass out.
Slowly.
On his YouTube channel, he explains what actually happened and reveals that he declined to have it edited out with the hope that it would attract a wider audience and raise even more money.
Should I pass out?
Yeah.
That's a good start.
The incident did create some hilarious memes that might haunt him for life, but at least he has the Star Baker apron to make him feel better.
And considering what happened to your finger,
Yeah, I was going to
Amazing.
say there is. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Number 1, James Acaster. Just James Acaster, the Great Celebrity Bake-Off for SU2C. If anyone was going to steal the worst contestant title from Jonathan Ross, we're glad it was James Acaster. In fact, he pretty much sums up his experience best as he presents his flapjacks to the judges.
Started making it, had a breakdown. Bon appetit.
From an underbaked signature, deconstructed technical, and abstract showstopper, he was out of his depths, and we were loving every moment.
I put loads of salt on it for a laugh.
He starts off full of confidence, which even Paul can't chip away, but soon discovers that this baking malarkey is harder than he expected. While he was never going to be Star Baker, he deserves some credit just for making it to the end.
great flavour, not very well executed.
Story of my life.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.